Welcome to iLecture Online. In the previous video, we got a good start in trying to find the solution to the three-dimensional wave equation. What we end up with here is we found three constants, L, M, and N, associated with the three directions x, y, and z of the travel of the wave. We used the same information or the same technique that we used to find the solution to the 1D wave equation. The 1D wave equation gave us something where we have the function u in terms of x and t, but in three dimensions, the function u will be in terms of x, y, z, and t. Or if we want to write that, x, y, and z can be written in terms of the r vector, the position vector, where the position vector is defined as the distance traveled in the x direction, the distance traveled in the y direction, and the distance traveled in the z direction. Notice that L, M, and N can also be thought of as the direction cosines of the unit vector pointing in the direction of the travel of the wave. Which means if we then define angles, theta sub L, theta sub M, and theta sub N as the angles between the unit vector and the three axes, the x-axis, the y-axis, and the z-axis, if we then take the cosine of each of these three angles, we get L, M, and N, which are then the constants associated with our solution right here. So those constants, L, M, and N, are what we could then call the direction cosines, the cosine of the angles between the unit vector and the x-axis, the unit vector, the y-axis, the unit vector, and the z-axis. Then we also want to define what we call the unit vector n. Now, unfortunately, we use the letter n here as a constant, and then we have n as the unit vector. Those are not the same thing. But if we then want to describe the unit vector n, that could be then described as the three components, the unit vector in the x direction, the unit vector in the y direction, the unit vector in the z direction, which is basically the projection of the unit vector onto the three axes. Just like for one dimension, let me write the equation for one dimension because then it's easier to see. U as a function of x and t was also thought of as u as a function of p, and it was written as f of x plus ct plus g of x minus ct. There we go. So that was what we called our one-dimensional solution. So we want to write something in terms of that same format, but now we need three dimensions, so we need x, y, and z. So in summary, to compare the two solutions to one another, notice that here we have the solution in terms of x and t, the distance traveled in the x direction, and the time elapsed. Here we need to account for the distance traveled in all three directions, x, y, and z, which can be accomplished by taking the unit vector and multiplying times the position vector via the dot product. So the unit vector can be written as n sub x in the x direction, n sub y in the y direction, n sub z in the z direction, and the position vector is x in the y direction, y in the j direction, or the y direction, and z in the z direction, so to speak. Then when we do the dot product, we multiply these two together. That gives us a magnitude as far as how far away from the origin, so to speak, from an initial point have we traveled. And then we multiply, or then we either add or subtract a CT portion, that is the effect that the time has. In other words, this represents a wave that's traveling in the negative direction. This represents a wave that travels in the positive direction relative to the unit vector direction. So this would be in the same direction of the unit vector, and this would be traveling in the opposite direction of the unit vector. And that's how we represent the solution in three dimensions versus the solution in one dimension. That's how it's done.